This is episode 183, and we are talking about hypnosis. Welcome to Wellness in Every Season. We talk all things wellness to help you align yourself, align with your goals, find balance in your life, and just recalibrate yourself. If you are listening for the first time, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And let's get started in the rest of the podcast. Today I have Sarah Miller. She is a clinical hypnotherapist, a grief coach, end-of-life doula who helps people reconnect with their inner wisdom during times of transition. Through her practice, Tree Star Hypnosis, she supports clients navigating identity shifts, transitions, and emotional blocks, offering one-on-one sessions, experiential workshops, and consulting for mission-driven organizations. Before founding her private practice, Tree Star Hypnosis, Sarah spent nearly a decade in corporate innovation. Her career took a personal turn after profound losses led her to hypnosis, where she not only found healing, but a calling. Her work blends deep emotional presence with practical tools for clarity, regulation, and growth. She's trying to convince her fiance to watch just one more episode before bed, or fighting for space on her couch between hogging cats and a dog. I totally understand that. Sarah and I needed to reschedule because my dog had her leg amputated due to cancer, and she has hated not being able to snuggle with me, so I totally feel those vibes.
Yes, it's when they want to snuggle.
Yes, she's demanding, but she's the type where once she's up with me, she'll jump off and come back on several times. So I met Sarah at a convention for all things spiritual. It was really fun, and I connected with Sarah, so I'm very glad that she's on. And I got to meet her fiance there too. He was the best helper, so I'm excited to know that your wedding is right around the corner. Yay.
It's happening.
Yeah. And I was telling her right before we hit record that I love interviewing energy healers, wellness experts, however you want to call them, because when you look at their life, it's so fun to see that it's non-linear. And I think that resonates with all of us because when we were young and naive, and we thought that we needed to follow this linear path through school, through everything that we did, it all needed to fit in and be this nice, neat little box. And then we're now at this point in our lives looking back, laughing at ourselves. Here's that reminder that nobody has a linear path, but it all ends up connecting in the end because we're not starting over when we switch careers. We're still keeping all of our knowledge, all of our experience, and start at a different level than if we started brand new. I love that you shared some of your path that led you here. Thank you for being on. For the hypnosis video you sent me, I am excited. Personally, I have a lot of childhood abuse that comes up mostly in my dreams. It's very annoying. So I really love tapping in EMDR for that. I've gone through therapy, somatics coaching, and I see where hypnosis fits in that as well. So where I want to start is how hypnosis helped you while you were navigating your grief.
That's a great question. To answer that, I have to back up a little bit. How I came into this healing path over 7 or 8 years, I lost my entire family and my mentor. They all died from different reasons at different times. It all happened in my 20s, becoming a caregiver, learning to manage estates, end of life care, all sorts of things. That process inspired me to really dive deep into, let me learn about grief. Let me learn about end of life. Like, I want to understand this from all perspectives and help other people with it. An hour after my grandpa died, I met one of the OG death doulas. She'd been doing this for years. I want to be a death doula. I got to do this. My friends are like, Sarah, grandpa just died like an hour ago. Do you want to make this big life change? And I'm like, yes, this is what I want to do. So I started my work as getting trained as a death doula, and that led me into really enjoying coaching and coaching work with the families. I did coach training, neurolinguistic programming, and parts work, different modalities I love using. And it was that work that led me to meeting my mentor, Joe. a spiritual hypnotherapist. Wrote books on past life regression. I met him because he was dying and I became his informal doula. But honestly, I think he taught me more than I did for him over the course of several years. I spent every weekend with him. He taught me about the subconscious mind. He taught me how to use it. I got to experience all sorts of different types of hypnosis with him. And after years and years of different therapies and modalities that I had tried, I found that hypnosis and understanding how to work with the subconscious mind just helped me get to this new level of understanding of myself and the world around me. And I was fortunate enough that after he passed, I got to be with him at the end of his life. He left me the gift of going to the Hypnotherapy Academy of America, where he went to school to study and start my business. That's my long origin story of how I got to this work. And it's really interesting because the what hypnosis has helped me with, especially in grief, happened a lot in my training. As I was learning these different protocols, these different approaches, my past loved ones would pop up as like my guide. Like I did this one really beautiful protocol where you go to a healing river with a guide and you wash off these layers that you no longer need or serve you and you grow new layers. And it was my mom who came as my guide. And there's this part in the script where it says, this guide has known you since you were just a bunch of little cells. And I thought that was so profound hearing that because my mom literally did know me as a little amoeba, right? Embryo. Hypnosis has allowed me to reconnect with my loved ones in a creative and unique way. And it's helped me to create some more healing on a deeper level than what I would get from just traditional talk therapy and other modalities.
Wow. So you were working in the corporate world when your grandpa passed, probably feeling like you're doing that forever. It's interesting, and I feel like all of us have this, but don't recognize it, that we have people who come into our lives right when we need it, ready to guide us to the next level.
Yeah. I worked in the aging space. So I got to work with a lot of like aging startups, different gerontologists and things like this. So the work I did in my corporate career paired well with my private practice. And I like what you shared at the beginning. Nothing's ever a waste of time, right? Me spending all those years knowing I really did want to be in private practice gave me an understanding of how to run a business, tap into communities and learn about resources. I get to use that knowledge every day with my clients. Even if you make a total 180 where it's a different direction, you're bringing in a unique skill set to that new career direction that other people don't have.
I've been hesitant because of needing to be very much in control of my body because I was not as a child.
Mhm.
So, what do you say to people like that or have fears? Unpack the myths here.
I would done us a disservice of what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is a natural state of focused attention and relaxation. So we are going into and out of trance states all day, and you're probably not even aware of it. Have you ever had that experience where you get in your car, you drive, and you don't remember how you got there?
A little nervous of I hope
You're
I
like,
didn't do
what
anything
just
wrong.
happened? Yeah, totally. You made it safe. They call that highway hypnosis, right? It's so common. There's a name for it in hypnosis. I'm teaching clients how to relax their body so their conscious mind can step back. It doesn't go away, like it's still there, right? But when your conscious mind takes a step back, it gives us better access to the subconscious where we store emotions, beliefs, patterns. It Our subconscious has some impact on our autonomic nervous system and it creates associations, right? So when we're able to get into the subconscious mind, we're able to both reprogram negative beliefs or blockages, patterns that aren't serving you, and reinforce positive beliefs that you already have. Now, there's a common misconception, I get this all the time, like, I'm a big control freak. I don't want somebody controlling me. Those fears are valid. Well, hypnosis is learning to control your own mind and body. My job as the hypnotherapist is to teach you self-hypnosis because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Whether you're doing it to yourself, listening to a recording, or I'm guiding you, you're making the active decision to participate in hypnosis, right? People don't do anything they don't want to do or say what they don't want to say, because what happens is when we feel threatened, our conscious mind is going to step in. Like it's going to stop you. And they actually did during my training, they talked about, they did research on this, like way back in the day. I'm sure it was before like ethical science. They did research in the CIA, I believe, where they were trying to use hypnosis to get criminals or terrorists to admit things or share the secrets or whatever. And it didn't work because when people feel threatened, their conscious mind steps in. So you're not letting go of control, or like your conscious mind isn't completely leaving. It's just giving you a little more space so that you can access those other parts of yourself. Like any therapeutic modality, a huge part is the rapport and the relationship with a hypnotherapist. It's interesting you bring up bodily autonomy and wanting to feel safe. I talked with my mentor, Joe, about this. What do you do when you have a client like this? And he was in a unique position too, because working with female clients as a male, right? There's a different dynamic there. So he shared a story with me where he did have a client who had experienced trauma, sexual trauma. They built a good rapport. There was safety there. You're not charging into hypnosis in the first session. We do a lot of educating and understanding. And they created agreements together. Joe would say, I'm going to sit over here, right? I'm about this far from you. I'm not going to touch you at any point. If you want to open your eyes, you can. Create those agreements in advance to create that safety. And that's part of the building the rapport and the therapeutic relationship. I always want to make sure my client feels safe and secure, and also gets to try hypnosis first. Like in my first sessions, most of it's talking, coaching, getting clear on the goal. And then we do 3 mini hypnosis experiences. I'll do a brief induction. So you get a little taste of what does it feel like? It lasts maybe like 3 to 5 minutes. You come out and we talk about that. How did it feel? What questions do you have? What did you notice? Once we figure that out, we go back in and practice some of the suggestions and imagery that we create together. So it's always consensual. It's words that are your own words, your own ideas, things that you want, because it helps your subconscious to accept it more easily. The final experience is doing a self hypnosis recording so you can practice on your own between sessions. I'll take a pause and see what questions you have.
Oh, are there people who are good candidates versus not good candidates?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, for the most part, hypnosis is an extremely safe modality that most people can practice. There are a couple caveats. So, one, I do both medical hypnosis and more spiritual, mental health based hypnosis. Anytime I'm working with a client who has a therapist they're working with, has a doctor, practitioner, I'm always making sure to collaborate with those practitioners with a form they sign so they know that their client is participating. They've been medically cleared or cleared through their mental health practitioner as well. So that's my first line of defense, always deferring to the experts. It is contraindicated if you have schizophrenia or disconnections from reality type of mental health disorders. Not hypnosis isn't great for that because it can perpetuate that. And then also any sort of like seizures or epilepsy, it's contraindicated there as well, or it needs special constraints. Other than that, it's extremely safe. It's just like relaxing your body. Anytime we reduce stress, it can help our bodies and minds.
It's not just another therapy tool. It's more than that.
The way I look at it is both somatic and mind based. It's bridging that connection because the subconscious mind stores our autonomic nervous system. So, what's happening there is impacting the body. We know the mind and body are connected. Hypnosis is a way to creatively access different parts of the body using imagery, sensations, feelings, and allowing those parts of the body to have language attached to them.
I've done somatics, so it makes sense
Yeah.
to me. For those who don't understand some of the words I said, like autonomic,
The autonomic nervous system. That's basically just the system of the body. That's all the nerves in the body, right? They're started in the brainstem. I'm not a medical practitioner, but they go all through all up to the fingertips. But what it does is the nervous system is what's responsible for shifting you from a rest and digest, like a homeostasis state, into fight or flight, right? And we call that parasympathetic nervous system, and the sympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. When you're in parasympathetic, your immune system, digestive system, reproductive systems are not working efficiently. You have less blood flowing to your frontal lobe, which means you have less problem solving skills. You have adrenaline, cortisol, stress hormones happening. Hypnosis helps you to shift from that parasympathetic state, which honestly, a lot of us are stuck in today's society. There's a whole nother episode about that, about the stress cycle, right? But it helps you shift into that rest and digest space where the systems of your body have more energy to work properly. You're getting more blood to your frontal lobe so you can problem solve better. And honestly, just doing, if you did nothing else but that, you're helping yourself a lot more than you think, just being in that state.
Yeah. Thank you. That was perfect. There was another term, but I'm getting attacked by a fly. So if you guys are watching the video, enjoy. I have my door closed so that my kids don't come in. So the fly is stuck with me. It needs to hear about hypnosis too.
Apparently.
What were some other terms that people might not know? That was the main one.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's go through what is like the perfect length of time to be under hypnosis. I assume it depends, but after that.
So my sessions, my first sessions, they're usually about 90 minutes is about enough time because most of the time we're not diving right into hypnosis unless agreed upon. Oh, we're doing a past life next session. We know that. So we're going to probably move in pretty quickly because that's a more lengthy session. But so that looks like first part of the session is how's your progress going? What's getting in the way? What emotions, thoughts are you having about the goal we're working on? And coming into a collaborative agreement of what we're going to do that day. I always come with a bunch of, this is maybe unique to me, but I always come with like multiple ideas and I'm like, okay, let's choose our own adventure. What feels good for you today? And then from there, it can really range. Like it can be as short as probably 15 minutes as to up to maybe, oh, it's my longest, maybe 60 minutes. But usually after 60 minutes, that's usually enough for people. But what's interesting is one of the ways that you're experiencing hypnosis is if you have time distortion when you open your eyes. So if you open your eyes and you're like, oh my God, it's been an hour. I didn't even know. It may sound overwhelming to be in hypnosis for 20 minutes, but it doesn't feel that way because you're not connected to time in that space.
How different is this from when you get to that meditation point, brainwave wise, or in REM? That's
Mhm.
similar. How does this relate to sleep? I've heard it's the same area of the brain and whatever.
That's a great question. So hypnosis takes place in the theta and alpha brainwave states, slower than our faster brainwaves. This is the range where creativity, memory, and emotional healing are most accessible. So you feel like a lot of people are like, am I asleep? Sometimes when you're in a really deep hypnosis, it can feel a little bit like sleep, but you're not. And the way that I can solidify that is every time I've had a client in a really deep place, when I do a count up at the end, they always wake up. I do hypnosis virtually. I've never had a client not wake up after hypnosis, which tells me on some level their conscious mind is aware. They're coming up and out of hypnosis. REM is your dream sleep. Your brain's active and your body's paralyzed. It's different from hypnosis because you remain aware, able to respond and in control of the process. Whereas in sleep, you're literally paralyzed. You can't move, you're not aware, right? Unless you do some cool, what's that, astral projecting and stuff. That's a whole different realm. But that is the difference between the brain waves and what's happening in the mind between sleep and hypnosis.
Do people wake up feeling rested?
A lot of times they do. Like I always do grounding after. Stomp on the ground, drink water, rub your hands together, stretch, come back to the body. If you have a long drive, go for a walk first. A lot of people feel relaxed and sometimes sleepy after. If your body's used to a chronic stress state, like shifting into that relaxation, your mind could think of that as being tired. Or you are just tired because your body's been in like adrenal fatigue for a long time.
I noticed that
Uh,
with EMDR. She would always
yeah.
say, eat more protein, drink water, and I go to bed earlier. My body was like, you need more sleep today from that. So my question is, when is the sweet spot of when this should be done if you've had a traumatic event? How soon
Mm,
after this traumatic event?
that's a good question. I always like with people I'm working with, if somebody's coming to me and they've never done any therapy, they've never done any of their own processing, I'm pretty reluctant to dive into any sort of trauma work. Like, I'm probably referring them to an EMDR therapist or some sort of therapist first so that they have some of that awareness, some of that priming. But other than that, if you're aware, we have an agreement with the therapist you're working with. Hypnosis can be a really beautiful way to process trauma because there's techniques that I use that don't require you to revisit the trauma to reduce the emotional charge of it. But I'm a big fan of EMDR. I'm doing my own EMDR therapy. I spend every session with my therapist. This is where EMDR and hypnosis intersect. Unlike EMDR, where you're going back to the thing, with hypnosis, we can go back if that is helpful for the person. But if somebody just revisit this traumatic event, we can do this technique where we actually go to a point before the event. Even if as a baby, we can make up a point before you were born, like a blissful, happy, golden memory. And then a point in time after that's also a blissful, happy memory. It's some sort of brain magic, similar to EMDR. I'm not a scientist, but we go back and forth recreating those states a bunch of times. It gets actually like a little arduous because we're going revisit the happy time before and after, and before and after, and you're recreating that emotional state in your body. We go back to the traumatic memory at the end briefly and rate the emotional charge, like on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. What's your response to this? And the majority of time, clients get down to a 1 or 2, and then I have techniques to get them to a 0, especially for sometimes you don't want to revisit it. Like I've talked about this, I've done enough. So it can be a nice way of processing that and releasing it from your nervous system without having to revisit.
So my husband's super techie. When I need something, I give it to him. It reminds me of wiping a hard drive, putting zeros and ones on it. It's just doing that whole thing. And
Hey.
that's what it reminds me of. And if you guys are old enough, like me, or older than me, you'll remember you could hear it doing it. When you were making this motion, that's his memory was computers. It's writing over it enough that it's like fuzzy. You've made it more opaque. Yeah, opaque is that direction compared to translucent. Going to Canva here, that totally makes sense for my brain. I hope that made sense for everybody else out there. But I love that. And for anybody who's wondering what EMDR is, a couple episodes before this, I talked to a therapist and she has an EMDR app. I've been doing it for 2 weeks and I love it. If you want to put something in with talking to Sarah, you could have your own EMDR session, you have your hypnosis. How can things be bad?
I definitely want to try out that app. That sounds amazing.
I'll definitely send it to you. It's called Mind Circuit. Yeah.
Oh, I
Really.
love so with this computer analogy, just like one other
Yep. Yep.
the ways that we sometimes describe hypnosis and how like programming works, right? So we say, okay, if you think about your body as if it was a computer, right? Your body is the hardware, the monitor and the drive, right? Your subconscious mind is the programming. So it's like the app that's on your computer. You can have lots of different apps, make your computer do different things. Like Zoom starts video, the Google app starts your search engine. Hypnosis helps rewrite apps that aren't working well, that aren't helping your hardware function optimally, or create new apps to help your hardware, your body operate in the way that you want. So it's I love this computer metaphor because when we talk about hypnotic programming is positive suggestions, affirmations, and visualizations that anchor you to a positive state. It makes sense in that computer terminology, right? We're
That's what I
literally
live around.
programming our bodies to do what we want them to do.
Yeah. And my kids are one in particular is nerdy just like him. That's
Love it.
the
I
real
love
talk.
it.
It totally makes sense because sometimes we need help with those bridges between the apps. And it sounds like
Mhm.
that's where hypnotherapy works. I have things that were so traumatic in my past that I got stuck with my therapist. And we built a safe space and all of that. We've done a whole bunch of EMDR and we got to this point where here's the Pandora's box of the hard stuff.
Mhm.
And I ended up plateauing for a while because I was just afraid to open that box. That's when I went to somatics work and did other things, but it sounds like hypnotherapy would help with that because then I'm not actually opening it. I'm writing over it. And I'm sure you've
Yeah.
worked with other people who are like, I have this and I don't want to open it, but I can't not have it because it's something I experience. What do I do? And I've said this so many times, and I'm going to keep saying this because you've worked in this realm and I have volunteered. I served a mission for my church and had the opportunity to volunteer at nursing homes while doing that. And
Mhm.
some of them were dementia patients, Alzheimer's, but it was light enough that they weren't in that wing yet. It was only a matter of time. Things from their past that was traumatic kept coming up. For me, I want to take care of it now so it's not showing up in my parenting, then coaching sessions with clients. And when I'm older and don't have the ability to shove it back down.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've heard with dementia and Alzheimer's, it can go one of two ways. Like the good things come up, or some of those not so good things from the past. So I think that's a great way of looking at it. Let's do the healing now. So when we get there, it's worked on. What I've noticed, at least on my healing journey, I look at it like Mario. You have different worlds and you're going through different levels. This is true with grief work too. So you're working through different levels and finally reach the end of that one world. That looks like my grief in my 20s. Great. I'm feeling okay. I have my sad days, but it's okay. And then all of a sudden you get married and you go into a new world where I'm about to get married. I'm starting a family. I'd like to have kids in a couple years. And I realized I've moved to the next Mario world where I now have a whole bunch of new levels to work through of how do I relate to my grief in this new phase of life. And I think that's so true for a lot of healing. I'm curious if that's been your experience too. You like work through it and then become a parent and you're like, oh, there's these other things I didn't realize were going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I've totally got this life thing figured out and life that. No, you don't. Here's something else.
Now we're moving on. We're on to the next level of healing. To me, it's a never ending journey. For some, that feels maybe a little arduous, but for me, it feels exciting because I'm like, there's always something new to discover about myself, the world, how I relate to it. Maybe that's detachment from the outcome when you can step aside of, oh, my healing journey is going to be done versus it's a journey, it's a path. Every new level, we experience something different. And that can be exciting and exhausting and joyful and all the things in between.
And I think that answers the question any listener is going to be asking is how long would I be having to go through hypnotherapy in order to receive this outcome? And the thing is, just like your career path was not linear, it's not linear. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a pyramid. At the lowest, there's the physiological. So that is your water, air, food, sleep, clothing, shelter, like your very basic needs. And the thing is, once that's met, then your whole body, all of you is, okay, what's next? So you can never be satisfied at one status quo. And that's frustrating for me because I just want a minute to feel peaceful. Then you go up to safety, personal safety, economic security, health. And that right now is under threat with the government shutdown and stuff like that. If this is coming up for you, Sarah would be perfect for you. I can help you with your resume, LinkedIn, and everything. Sarah can do the hypnotherapy. Then there's love and belonging is the next level. It's friendship, family, social groups, intimacy. After that is esteem, self-esteem, confidence, respect, achievement. Then there's self-actualization. This is like, yay. But the thing is, it's you never get there for super long time because then there's something else you want to level up. And it's morality, creativity, problem solving, reaching one's full potential. And this happens in your healing journey, especially with therapy. I went to my therapist with one thing. I wanted my night terrors to go away.
Mhm.
But my body was just like, here's everything else. You're healing this. I'm going to vomit all this other stuff up, other experiences. It was almost worse than when I started in some ways. My night terrors started slowing down, but there are so many other things. And my heart would start racing out of nowhere. I'm like, what's going on?
Mhm.
It was that reminder I hadn't been doing all this work. My body is ready, except maybe my conscious. That was saying, can we just wipe all this clean? So I love that there are tools, and that's when my therapist was like, let's bring in some EMDR for you. And it made it so that it was stepping on the accelerator. And hypnosis sounds the exact same. It sounds very relatable to EMDR, and it can get you there. This is where somatics was for me too. It can get you there without having to uncover every single thing in view. It's like taking the whole thing of grapes. They're all connected. And you're taking the one up here and you're connecting it to the one down here. You don't need to go over every single one. With hypnosis, you can go good memory. Here's the grape, like the grapevine. You just skip all that.
I
Love
love
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I also really love about hypnosis, it really shifted. I was in talk therapy for 15 years. And I do love therapy. I love talk therapy. But I
Talk
was
therapy
like,
is the worst for me. Let's get to the actual stuff.
I know. But then it got to a place where I'm like, things aren't shifting. I process what I can process. What I realized too about hypnosis and healing, rewiring is in the positive mindset, how we speak to ourselves, how we think about things. I will be the first to admit, I do this professionally and it's something I work on every day. Some days I'm like, the world is ending and nothing's working. I have to remind myself, I do this as a job and it don't feel this way. With my clients, it's been amazing. We can spend time talking about the past, the trauma, but there's something powerful about anchoring to the future, recreating positive feeling states in our body. You can do that intentionally and just rewiring the way that we speak to ourselves. Because I think so much of the outcome of trauma is that negative voice, right? That critic or protector parts that come in to keep you safe. The only way they know how to do that is to be like, why aren't you getting your things done? Do the things or however that shows up for you. When you're able to help those parts feel safer and give them new jobs, which may look like focusing on where you want to go, saying positive things to yourself day by day in every way. I'm getting better and better. And just saying that to yourself. And part of me hates it because I'm like, oh, I know gratitude and all these things. That's what they say to do, but it actually really works. Being able to retrain the mind to move towards that place is, I think, a big missing piece of some other modalities of healing, because you have to have some forward motion too. You have to have something to look forward to, something to hold on to versus just always trudging up what's going on back here.
Love that. Okay, so we have a surprise for you. If you're driving, pause it and come back. But for those who are not, keep listening, and there will be a hypnosis for you to try out now that you have the whys and hows and gotten through your fear. Can you tell us how long to expect this hypnosis to be?
Yes, it's about 15 minutes. It's a hypnosis around meeting your higher or future self to get a message from them. I find this one really good to use when you feel like you have a question, just need guidance. A beautiful way to tap into a deeper part of yourself. In the recording, it'll give you a little rundown of what to expect. You can give it a try. If you like it, please let me know how it goes.
And if we want to listen to that, there will be a link for that in the description. And we'll also get you on her email list. Is that correct?
Perfect.
Perfect. And for anyone before they hit pause if they're driving, What is your website?
Yes, it's treestarhypnosis.com. That's TREESTAR, Tree Star Hypnosis. I'm also on Instagram right now under District Doula, which I think that's going to change to Tree Star Hypnosis soon. It's linked on my website, but you can find me through either of those places or Sarah at treestarhypnosis.com.
Perfect. Thank you. It was super helpful. And this is what's been holding me back from listening to the recording you sent me. It's the question I had. I've heard good things, and even doing acupuncture, you get close to that meditative state more than hypnosis. And I love that. I love the idea of having that happen without needles. I'm excited for this. And I can go further than just getting to that meditative state because that's what I'm needing now.
Totally. And it's like meditation's that focused inward awareness, right? And without a goal, like hypnosis is a similar, but with a specific goal and more imagination. So it's a nice little difference. And I will say on a side note, one of the former students from my school has a practice, I think, with their husband. One does acupuncture, one does hypnosis. They've seen really good results for infertility. They have a whole practice that merges those two things together. So it can really help with doing them both together, like super powerful.
That's amazing. You'll have to give me their information so I can have them on the show. Anyway, enjoy your hypnosis time now.
Today, we'll be doing a guided hypnosis where you'll go to your sacred space and connect with your higher self, your inner power, your guides, angels, or any trusted presence that shows up for you. You'll have the opportunity to receive a message from them, something meant just for you. You can bring a specific question you'd like guidance on, or simply be open to receiving whatever messages you most need right now. But before we begin, I'll share a few tips to help you get the most out of this experience. First, it's okay if your mind's chattering. Just keep coming back to the sound of my voice. And sometimes it helps to repeat what I'm saying in your mind. This is because it gives your inner chatterbox a job to do. Second, you are in control the whole time. If at any point you want to come out of hypnosis, simply count up from 1 to 5 and open your eyes. Third, you don't need to feel deeply hypnotized for this to work. A light relaxation is just as powerful. And finally, trust your experience. Some people are more visually oriented and see visual images. Others may hear words, feel sensations in their body, or simply have a deep inner knowing. Whatever way your experience unfolds is exactly right for you. Trust it. Okay, now before we begin, take a moment to set a clear intention. Think of one question you would love some guidance on today. Good. All right, now we're going to begin. Take a good, long, deep breath. Breathe as deeply as is comfortable. And as you exhale, close your eyes and make yourself even more comfortable. To enter into hypnosis, I will guide you to take 3 deep breaths. You will inhale through your nose and hold the breath for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. All right, take your first deep breath in. Hold it for a pause, and then exhale slowly. Good. Now take your second deep breath in. Hold it for a pause, and then exhale slowly. You are breathing in peace and becoming more relaxed. All right, now take your third deep breath in. Hold it for a pause, and then exhale slowly. As you exhale slowly, release any stress or tension. Very good. Now breathe as you normally do. Now to go even deeper relaxed and become even more responsive to positive healing ideas and guidance, think about a wave of relaxation moving into your scalp, forehead, and facial muscles. You're at ease and you begin to have a peaceful feeling flow over you. Imagine that warm and relaxing feeling moving into your neck. Think about all the neck muscles becoming loose and limp. Now slowly and gently move the warm relaxation into your shoulders and down into your arms. Imagine that you are resting and your body feels loose and very comfortable. Imagine the muscles turning loose and limp, relaxing more and more. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are becoming pleasantly warm and relaxed. Now move the comfortable, relaxing sensation down your back now. Imagine, sense, and feel that you are sending the warm, relaxing feeling into all the muscles of your back. Picture all the back muscles loosening and relaxing now. That's right, you are becoming more deeply relaxed and at peace now. Send the warm relaxation down into your legs. Slowly, easily, and gently, imagine the relaxing sensation melting away any tension as the warm, relaxing, comfortable feeling moves down into your legs. Send the relaxation down past your ankles now and into your feet. Your feet and toes are becoming warm, relaxed, and comfortable now. Your subconscious mind is receptive and ready to act upon positive healing ideas. Just being in this hypnotic relaxation is healing for you. Enjoy this pleasant time as your body restores itself. Now to help you relax even more, I will count down from 10 to 1. As I count, you can explore an even deeper level of restful relaxation. You can just listen, or if you would like, you can repeat what I say in your mind. And knowing that any sounds you hear around you also take you deeper and deeper into relaxation. 10, deeper relaxed. 9, deeper relaxed. 8, 7, 6, deeper relaxed. 5, 4, 3, deeper relaxed. 2, and 1, deeply relaxed. Now rest here for a moment, feeling comfortable, free, and at peace with all creation while I'm quiet. Now that you're in this relaxed, open state, your mind and body calm and settled, allow yourself to imagine a doorway in front of you. A beautiful doorway that leads to your sacred space, a place that exists just for you. Safe, peaceful, and deeply connected to your inner wisdom. When you're ready, step through the doorway and begin to notice the space unfolding around you. Notice what's here. It might be a forest clearing, a temple, a beach at sunset, a mountaintop, or something entirely unique and special to you. Let it take shape in whatever way feels right. There's no wrong way for it to appear. And begin to look around you and notice what you see. What do you hear? What sensations arise in your body just being here? Let yourself feel how supported and held you are in this sacred space. Let it fill you with a sense of peace, clarity, and presence. And now, from within this sacred space, invite your higher self, your guide, an angel, or any trusted presence to show up for you. This may be a luminous version of you, a wise presence, an animal guide, a being of light, or simply a deep sense of loving awareness. Whoever appears, trust that they are here for your highest good, and allow yourself to notice how they arrive. Feel their energy, their presence. You might see them clearly, hear them, feel their energy, or simply just know that they are there with you. There's no one right way to experience this. Whatever shows up for you is exactly right. Trust it. As they stand or sit with you now, they offer you a message, something that you are meant to know today. Take a moment to receive that message. Allow yourself to receive that message in whatever form it comes. Words, images, feelings, or simply a knowing. Very good. Now, if there's anything on your heart, or any question that you would like to ask, bring it forward now. You don't even need to speak it out loud. They already know. Just offer it up in your mind. Allow yourself to receive the response, however it shows up. Good. Now take a moment to thank your guide in this aspect of your deepest self. Know that you can return to this sacred space anytime you choose. It is always within you. And now, as they gently step back or dissolve into the light, feel the message they gave you settling into your heart. Take a few deep anchoring breaths, letting the insight, peace, and energy of this experience integrate fully into your body. Good. Now, I'm going to count up from 1 to 5 and then say fully alert. As I do, bring yourself out of hypnosis. On 5, open your eyes. You feel rested, refreshed, and relaxed, bringing with you any guidance, feelings, or insights you received. 1, slowly, calmly, easily, and gently begin to bring yourself out of hypnosis. 2, each muscle and nerve in your body feels loose, limp, and relaxed. You feel wonderfully good. 3, you are mentally alert, emotionally calm and serene, physically comfortable and at ease. 4, your eyes begin to feel sparkling and clear, as if your face was bathed in a cool spring water. 5, eyes open, you are fully alert. Fill up your lungs, stretch, and smile. Good. Rub your hands together. You are centered and grounded now.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope that you found the answers that you needed and you had some amazing aha moments. Please share this episode with others because it helps us align ourselves and then better align the world so that we can seek the healing that we really are looking for. As part of the legal language, I am a certified life coach with a bachelor's in applied health. That is what I am leaning on for this. This is general advice. Take it as such. See you in the next episode.